stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. Right over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
A quorum is present.
Could you call the Accessory Agency and Housing Authority and Finance Authority?
Sure, a quorum is present.
Any persons who wish to address the City Council on any item of today's agenda other than the public hearing may do so at this time.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. Gil Matthew, District 4. I'm addressing finance and payment of the bills. Now, I'm still concerned about the financial condition of this city, and I'm still concerned that being erroneously saying I'm wrong when we were in fact at $1.2 million in debt.
Billion?
I have before me a printout from the Oversight Commission where you, Mayor Butts, are the chairman. So my question to you is, if in fact that we have not paid $200 million, then what is your oversight committee paying, and out of what agency? And Mr. Esparza said, to his knowledge, we have not paid anything from any agency. And sir, I would like to make copies of this for the other members. And also, I'd like to make copies of Cerritos in order to pay $170 million. And I keep hearing statements that no matter what the outstanding bills are, the city is not responsible, that the state is going to, in fact, pay it. That's only if it's approved by the recognized obligation payments. And my concern is this: the welfare of the city. We're in a precarious position. You know it, and I know it, and the rest of the members should know it. In fact, $80 million is questionable. So if you like a copy of this, or Mr. Falco, or anyone,
No, we don't.
you don't want a copy, you want a copy of the Cerritos $170 million.
No,
don't
but
want a copy?
Cerritos might want that.
Beg pardon?
City Cerritos might want that.
Well, I don't want to tell you be quiet, but you're taking my time. And we have a problem with that because the policeman said, I can't tell you when to stop talking.
Right.
But however, I asked him to have him tell you stop talking on my time. But he said he couldn't do that. But anyway, Mr. Fields, I would like for you to explain to this council exactly what I'm saying. And I will meet with any of you and give you the current figures as of June 30th for this ROPS, what is the balance of outstanding debt. You see, the point I'm making is you cannot deny a citizen's right to give you information when it's not confidential, it's public information, and I depend on you to be transparent with the resident. Now, maybe I'm asking too much, but that's what I expect out of a public official. Thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon. I was wondering if it isn't too much to ask you if CSA2, could I make a comment on Housing Authority? City Clerk approval of minutes?
Yes.
Well, I came here before and I wanted to address this, but there was no agenda when I first came, so now it is something that is approved. And my concern about Housing Authority has to do with the fact that instead of having freedom to raise a family, they're interested in raising our rent $40, and we're not allowed to have cats unless they are in a leash. So I wonder if anyone here would be able to comment on whether it is this something of infringement. This is after I've been penalized for 20 years because I did not march to the civil rights movement, according to those in the county supervisors who are running the Martin Luther King Hospital. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood, and I'm proud to stand here as a representative of the city, beautiful city of Inglewood. I'm very happy, and I want to thank this council. The support for agenda item number 4 and 5. This is something I've been waiting on for a long time. And I hope the council pass it. It has to do with artificial turf at Centinela Park, and I'm sure these little kids that play soccer and football are going to really be happy to get out there and play on a decent field. Thank you very much. I hope you pass it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Inglewood family. I'm Wild Bill Widener, and I'm going to back up Willie on that. Got to get that park fixed over there. I don't know, understand something. This has been going on for 2 or 3 years or whatever it is. And what has the money been diverted somewhere else or what? Or they order the stuff and it goes somewhere else? It's not been done. I keep driving by that thing looking for the improvement up there, and it just doesn't seem to happen. All those people and kids and everybody, they're playing in dirt. They're dirt. It's just dust is flying and everything, you know. And I really don't understand why this hadn't, so you need to put a rush on that as far as I'm concerned. Thanks.
You won't have much longer to complain about it.
In defense of the city about Mr. Willie Agee's project with the kids, there have been regulation things that Park and Recreation has had to go through, so things have had to been stopped. I's had to be dotted, T's had to be crossed. So in defense of the city, we have done the best we can with this item for as long as we have. And we have finally got it to the point where we can say, okay. Okay? So, thank you, City Council, for all your hard work. Thank you, Ms. Barnes, for all her hard work as well. And the kids will hopefully finally have a home field in Inglewood, California, that they can call their home place, where they can enjoy their football team, and the parents will not have to stress out or having to travel to other places for a home game. These are my comments, and thank you.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Council. My name is Sandy Crisp, and I have reported this to Department of Works. There are several streets in Inglewood that do not have curb cuts, and me being in a wheelchair, I've had to almost get run over by cars because I'm having to ride in the street, and this is becoming a problem. And I've given a list of the streets in question to the Works Department. I would appreciate if somebody could expedite this problem, because there are a lot of disabled people in Inglewood that use public streets.
Ma'am, what was your name?
Sandy Crisp.
Hi, Ms. Chris. Thank you for coming in, and I wanted to just give you a little brief explanation. You know, of course, you realize that this is a citywide problem, and so we have a lot of curbs to cut. And so what the Public Works Department tries to do is coordinate those with street and sidewalk projects so that, you know, it's efficient. We have the contractors in the same place. And so while
you know, you may have a list, a specific list. We'll make sure Public Works gets that, but we have to, for fiscal reasons, coordinate it with other projects. And so
Right.
if there's something that you have that's a particular danger to the disabled, we'll move that up on the list. Okay?
Well, on my way up here, right near La Brea, as you cross by the barbecue place right on the corner of La Brea, near Spruce, there is the first corner as you
As
go
you
down
make the
that.
curve down,
Right, that does not have a curb cut as coming here. And which means I had to back up and drive in the street and almost got hit by an oncoming car. So, I mean, this is a problem.
Mr. Falco, would you write that street, La Brea Spruce across from Woody's,
No, on the past street past Woody's.
the street
The-
past?
the next corner.
Hillcrest?
Yeah,
La Brea and Hillcrest. So
Yes, sir.
ask Public Works to take a look at it.
10-4.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1. Madam City Clerk?
Council and agency members Dodson. Padilla. Morales. Franklin. Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Item 2, CSA 2, H2, and F1.
Approval of the minutes held for the following council, successor Housing and Finance Authority for May 13th through the 19th. I thought Councilman Morales, you said.
I move to approve.
Okay, and
Councilman Dodson, second.
thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Council and agency members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
The next scheduled matter is an appeal to the Planning Commission, denial for a special use permit to allow the sales of beer and wine and distilled spirits for an off-site consumption at Family Dollar stores located at 1000 South La Brea Avenue.
Continued public hearing to June 10th, 2014, at 7 p.m. Consent calendar, items 3 through 7.
So moved. Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin. Mayor Butts.
Aye, and just a brief comment. The Vincent Park Artificial Turf Project is done with grant funds close to $1 million for the city, and so that's a really good thing for us. And to get to it, there have been a lot of hoops that we've had to go through to get that project on track, and so we're almost there. Thank you for your understanding, Mr. Bailey, and explanation. Should put you on staff. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. As to CS1 was the closed session confidential, the conference with labor negotiators with the various bargaining groups for the city of Inglewood. Discussions were held, no final action was taken as to CS1. As to CS2, there's a request for a motion to approve the claim of Braddock LTD for an amount of $14,751.90.
So moved.
Second. Madam Clerk?
Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin. Mayor Butts.
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor. As to A2, the oral reports, there's no oral reports from the city attorney's office.
CM1.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. 2 items. One is that I want to let the public know that the city has completed the restoration of the clock tower at Manchester and Van Ness, and so that's now operational after years of being inoperable, and that the clock tower on Century Boulevard will be repaired as part of the Century Boulevard Improvement Project once that moves forward. And also for the public, just wanted to announce that we'll be having a job fair here at City Hall on June 5th from 8 to 5 for positions related to outsourcing of our parking citation program.
Thank you. CC1, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week, I had the opportunity to visit New York, and when I go out of town, I like to go and visit government. So I went to the clerk's office, and it was quite exciting. The one beautiful thing about being a clerk and a treasurer, it's those 2 positions have been in existence for quite some time. And in New York, the clerk has been in existence since inception, when the town was New Amsterdam. And it remained that way until New Amsterdam became New York under the British rules and after the War of Independence. And that was established in the United States. Some of the things that are actually, too, that I thought were quite interesting that they do that we don't do is they have, well, we have lobbyists, but they have a bureau, and the clerk's office is responsible for that, and for the reportings and filings that they have. They're responsible for the laws, that keeping their books and stuff in order, and then they have a marriage bureau. I think I can marry people, I think you can too, but we don't actually have a department for that, so that might be something we might want to look into. The other thing that they had was 5 offices. That was interesting, because their 5 offices were one in Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and State Island, and that was kind of cool. The other thing, that was a really nice trip, and it was really interesting. They have an election today like we do, so that's cool. They do elections as well. The other thing that I wanted to share was I have my women's conference that's coming up on the 20th, and if you want to come to it, you need to register. Women, it's a women's conference, but men are definitely invited, and I encourage men to come. I have my own breakout session on work-life balance, and this is my 2nd year doing it, although it's our 5th year doing the conference. And if you want to register to come, because it is free, but you do need to get registered, the number is 1-888-847-9652. And then in closing, Mayor, I want to share, I bought this book from Veronica Mackey in December. Okay. And I'm ashamed to say that I just read it on the airplane. I brought a couple of books with me, and I picked hers up first to read because her picture's so beautiful in the front. And this book is so awesome. This book, there wasn't a number in here to call her because I was just so eager to call her. It is, I don't even know how to explain the book. It's such an easy read, and it's so powerful. I mean, it is so powerful. I really want to connect with her, to have her come to the women's conference to sell these books there, because I think women and men would be super blessed by reading this. I've read it fully, going and coming back, and I'm going to read it again. That's how good it is. And that's the end of my closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And she's here? Oh, very good. Awesome book.
CT1, Madam City Treasurer.
Thank you, Mayor. Just like to give a brief report regarding the bonds that are on hand, and they total $56,020,188, and that's the cost, and the market basis is $55,363,900. As I mentioned, they have a pretty good rate compared to our state pool, LAIF, because LAIF, again, have to be rather short. They have to be a year and under. Our average rate is roughly about 1.2% for the $55 million. And also with regards to the bills that were paid by the city. In the month of April, $11.1 million, and the net payroll was $2.9. And the total for the month was $14.1 million. May has been $14.7 have been paid. I would like to point out that the number of FDIC bank failures, we just had one, and one was in Maryland. It happened on May 30th, with assets totaling $140 million, and the cost to the FDIC was $6.6 million. As you might recall, the total bailout of the banks, 7 banks altogether, and the 324 all of the money back, so we have roughly about 28 banks not paid the money back, and they're mostly the small banks. And there is a unofficial list, but the FDIC has chosen an official list to include a run on the smaller banks. Anyhow, the total number of failed banks was 501. Total assets of these failed banks is $701 billion, and a loss to the FDIC $6.8 billion. That concludes. I would like to also just give some congratulations to some of our graduates that are graduating. And one of them is Jessica Antino, related to Councilman Alex Padilla. Congratulate her, and she will be attending Mount St. Mary's College. And also I want to congratulate my grandson, Joshua Yarborough, who's graduating from Arcadia High School, University in Sacramento. And also special congratulations to my grandson, Abe, 4 years old, and he's graduating from preschool. And he will be attending Arcadia Elementary School. He'll be in kindergarten. So congratulations, to all of our graduates. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you. Public comments. Any persons wish to address City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered on the agenda may do so at this time.
Yes, I have before me and before you a powerful book. It's called La Bible en français courant. This is the Bible in French, and it's, I believe, the most published book, second to the one from Gabriel García Márquez, Las Memorias de Mis Tristes Putas. Am I allowed to say that word?
Well, not really.
Okay, so then I'm glad that I'm not disturbing anybody. Well, that's the second most published book, not only in Latin America, but in the world. And from this powerful book, I would like to read to you what it says in French, because I wish to visit the French City Hall in Paris, and I've just been sending some postcards before the celebration of the 6th of June, D-Day, to the French Embassy, so they can teach us a few lessons about what Montesquieu, Rousseau, and Voltaire meant when they wanted us to live after the French Revolution with separations of power. So it is very disconcerting because now I need a leash to put on my cat where I live, and they're raising the rent, so I wouldn't be able to clean the carpet. And it says somewhere here, le sujet dirait mieux le sujet du gouvernement bill. It says those who are wise are much greater in fortitude than 5 governments in office. En effet, il existe pour le tort de mon essai juste pour practicar le bien sans jamais de tromper. Y esto explica, pues, de que es más y es mejor ser un justo persona aplicando la ley que aquella persona que se pasa de ser lo que le llaman righteous en este país y presumen que nunca cometen errores. Eso está en el capítulo 7 de Eclesiastes, versículo 19. What I just read in French, it's in chapter 7, versicle or chapter 19, and it has to do with being wise and why we all make mistakes, and therefore we should not be so much righteous that it is wise to be able to understand that we all make mistakes, so therefore we may be stronger than 5 men in a village or in City Hall. So therefore, I would like to again emphasize that am I running out of time?
No, actually, you're out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Muchas gracias.
Merci beaucoup.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, staff. This is a suggestion about making money for the city and even Hollywood Park tomorrow. Consider these ideas. We have an interesting resource here in the city and things that have been happening around us, fires, and we have a resource called trees. Hollywood Park tomorrow will have to be demolished. All those trees will have to be moved. Or even the trees that are used for the metro, if we move them to have a wider space, can we consider selling these trees to other cities or other counties or just, other resources it could be a revenue stream for the city. I mean, it's not very much, but every penny does count for the city's coffers. These are just ideas that I have just thrown out there. You can have the other municipalities come in, dig the trees up, put soil and fertilize it, keep the roots. These are old trees, I understand. Keep the roots from going in shock so the tree doesn't die. We've been in a drought, so keep the soil very moist for its trip to wherever you're going to sell it or move it to. These are just ideas that I'm throwing out there for the city. If you want to consider, yes. If not, Mr. Fields, run with it and see if you could talk to other people that have researched this idea and see if it's a viable idea. And if not, I just threw my ideas out there. Thank you very much, and everybody, have a beautiful week.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, and staff. Aldine Sly, First District. I'd like to speak on the public hearing that District 1 supposedly had on May 21st. I attended. I got there early. There were no cars in the parking lot at ICOP Center. So I went back home because there was a closed sign in the window of the ICOP Center, and I figured, well, maybe they canceled it or changed the time or whatever. So I went back a little later because I wasn't satisfied that I hadn't been notified whether the meeting had been canceled or not. The sign was still in the window, but there were lights on. So I went in. I saw approximately 10 people attending this public hearing. And I thought information was going to be distributed to the residents regarding this public hearing in District 1. Before I went back, I wanted to talk to my councilman to see if the time had been changed or the location had been changed. He wasn't at home, but his wife was, and so she put a call into him, and he said it wasn't on his schedule. And I thought most city councilmen would want to attend those kind of things, to see what the residents would want to say about it, whatever was going on or whatever was planned for their area. So there were only 10 people there, and the majority of them were block club presidents. My block club president was not in attendance. So I sat through the meeting right before it adjourned, and I left. There was information that came out from those block club presidents that blew my mind. They knew so much more than what our District 1 knows about what's happening in the city. And I was very concerned about that. So we never received any information, and I would like to ask Councilman Dotson why the residents weren't informed about this public hearing, because it was extremely important. The other thing is, I know you have nothing to do with this overkill of information being sent out for this election, and the one candidate running, it's obvious to me, my opinion, that if she wins this seat, it's been bought. It's totally been bought, because the amount of money that has been spent sending out this kind of information to the residents is incredible.
Thank you.
Inglewood family, Bill Widener. About this time last year, there was an incident happened downstairs when Mr. Tony Curl was killed busting some windows out of police cars. And he was a coffee maker at our AA meeting over here on Market Street. And it's just before our 72nd birthday celebration, so it was just before the 71st last year. Anyway, he was killed. And been some talk about getting lapel cameras and stuff for police officers, because the documentation would probably be really good to have for more than just that one incident, you know, because the story that came back to me after he was dead, there was kicking on him, you know. People going deer hunting and stuff don't even kick their dead deer, you know. And anyway, there was another man up on Hollywood Boulevard, busted the windows out of a police car and ripped the computer out of the inside of the car and everything. And there was cameras rolling all that time. And he got a $20,000 bail. A big difference in the two endings there, those two incidents that were basically the same. So I am a firm supporter of cameras, lapel cameras. In London, England, they just bought 600 cameras for their police officer, bobbies, whatever you call them, which goes on their chest, that records all the different things. So I think the city needs to do something to protect police officers, cut down on lawsuits, you know, and a lot of other things, kicking dead corpses and stuff like that, you know. And, you know, if the city was to do something like that, they wouldn't be the first time the city got involved with things. Back in the late 50s or early 60s, there was two police officers coming in off of Florence onto Market Street, and they had the railroad tracks, or the streetcar tracks going up through there still, and it was Tony Mosquilla and Curly Morrison, and Curly's front wheel slipped on that track, and he went down, and his foot hung up, and his head went boom, boom, boom down the street. I was standing there. That's how I happened to know about this. It sounded like a big gourd bouncing down the street. And anyway, after that is when these crash helmets came into existence, and from accidents like that. And Inglewood Police Department pushed pretty hard on that. So I would really think that maybe you could forge ahead and do something worthwhile. Thank you.
Hi, Mayor, council members, and everyone else. I'm Damon Johnson, and I'm just here to announce that there won't be any meeting this June the 16th for the Oversight Committee for the City of Inglewood's Senior Center. And that's all. I just want to say we've been canceled. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Councilman, again. One concern that just happened last month that I know that everybody here is aware of. One of our caretakers over at Centinela Assisted Living was killed on Century Boulevard in Myrtle by CHP doing high-speed chases down Century after a criminal. And I understand they have to do their jobs, but isn't there a law about doing high-speed chases in a residential area? If
Well-
not, there should be.
Well, ma'am, it was on Century Boulevard. First of all, there's no law about governing pursuits in residential area. There are certain safety protocols that every law enforcement agency should observe, but Century Boulevard is a multi-lane highway. Secondly, it's my understanding that in this particular instance, the CHP vehicle was some distance away attempting to catch up to the individual, He was, for whatever his reasons were, was speeding, and he lost control of his vehicle, and there was nothing you could hold the CHP accountable for.
Right, I understand that, but I mean, with all the helicopters that I see that police have used on other things, and they've had those on the news, wouldn't it be safer for, like, regular pedestrians to where, they wouldn't be hurt?
Well, if you don't mind me using some of your time, the reality is that to get a helicopter involved, you'd have to communicate with an agency that has a bird up in the air, and that bird has to come to the scene, and then it does make it easier for officers to stay some distance back and follow at a distance. But again, to my knowledge, there was that this erupted suddenly, and from the time that the CHP officers spotted this car to the time that it ended was less than a minute. And again, they never even really got close enough to the vehicle to be considered in pursuit. Whatever this gentleman's reason for, he panicked, fled, and was involved in a traffic collision. And so you're absolutely right. All law enforcement agencies attempt to do any type of following or pursuit in the safest manner possible. But I just don't think it'd be fair to hold the CHP accountable for the behavior of the individual that caused this. He and he alone was responsible.
Was he caught?
I don't recall. I believe that they did an area search and he was in custody.
Okay, all
Yes.
right. Because the family, I was concerned because he was the primary,
Well, it was a tragedy. You're absolutely correct. Total tragedy.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we'll close public comment. Council comments. Mr. Matthew?
Yes, sir. Gil Matthew, District 4, Mayor and City Council. I offered to give you the information, and it was rejected. You didn't want it. Okay, so I'll have to pursue other avenues where I can inform the residents. But it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now, when you have your comments, each council member, listen carefully. You have a fiduciary duty mandated by the state constitution of what a reasonable person would do as a council member. Now, you can follow the leader and go right along, but I would tell you this. At some point, you're all going to be responsible. And to sit here and deny a resident with information, refuse to meet with him, and then you have afternoon meetings, and it's not been attended, and when you change it, you said it wouldn't be attended, you would recommend changing back to night meetings. You're the only council in the South Bay with daytime meetings to keep residents from being informed. So something is really wrong here. And I'm only speaking for the residents of one, because most people are disgusted with all of you. So I don't know who you're talking to or where you're going in the community. Now, my streets are not paved. I've never heard of a street being half paved and then 6 months later it's being deteriorated. The other side is half paved. And you give no reason whatsoever. Something is wrong. We had a good report from Mr. Esparza. I'm optimistic about the general fund. But now when I speak in terms of the precarious position it's in, I get saying, well, woe is me. I've never said woe is me. Woe be unto you because you don't recognize a problem. And all I'm telling you is, you are supposed to be city fathers. That's a great responsibility. And if, in fact, it's too much for you to bear, then step down. You're all decent human beings. All of you personally, you're decent human beings. And I've never attacked any of you personally. None. But yet and still I'm told, well, you can't tell somebody, shut up, if they're taking your time. Peace be with all of you.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. First, I want to congratulate the Director of Park and Recreation on the memorial celebration. I haven't been so happy in a long time. You know, when I arrived, I just couldn't believe what I saw. A big tent there, and had the, you know, they had installed a plaque on the memorial, and this brought tears to my eyes. And I want to thank Miss Sabrina Bonds and Park and Recreation for doing such a terrific job.
This is a Memorial Day celebration.
The Memorial Day celebration, yes. I'm a disabled veteran, Korean veteran myself, and a lot of other veterans was there, and everybody was just really happy about the progress that has been made in the last year. And I hope next year we'll be able to have 2-3 times as many people there, veterans and everybody, you know, and it was just a great affair, and I'm very happy. I'm happy with the way this council, staff, Ms. Horton, Brown, just keep up the good work. You know, the city is progressing. You know, I hear some things about this city. I'm telling you, you know, it's unbelievable. The progress this city is doing now, and it's because of the leadership. It's because of what you guys are doing. It's not because of what the naysayers say. It's because of what you guys are doing. I'm proud of it, and I just want you to keep up the good work and keep this city going and work together the way you are. I love it when I see all of you look at each other and smile. You know, even Mr. Falco sits over there. He got the biggest smile in town. You know. I'm just happy. I'm 52 years in this city, and I couldn't be more happier. And like I said, keep up the good work. I support you.
Thank you, Mr. A.G.
Mayor, City Council, staff, my name is Dennis Brashears. I'm Battalion Chief representing the City of Inglewood on behalf of the Los Angeles County Fire Department. And I wanted to come welcome you to come out Thursday, the 5th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. if you want to get some information out there. We'll be providing a hands-only CPR instruction from those hours, 10 to 2, at Costco, which is located at 3560 West Century Boulevard. So we encourage you to get the information out, let everybody know to come out and learn a way to save lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Closed public comment, council comments, Councilman Dotson.
Mayor, quick comment out, please go out and vote today. And I want the first district to know that I did not change your polling place. This is a county election. The county does those elections, and we have been accused of that several times today. So anyway, I want you all to know that we did not change your polling place. City clerk did not change your polling place. It was done by the county, countywide election. The other thing is, I want you to set your calendar for next Saturday. Now, don't forget, the Relay for Life this Saturday, June 7th and 8th. Come out and enjoy and raise some money for cancer. I want also you to set your calendars for June 14th. District will be having a town hall meeting at the Veterans Building. That's at 330 Centinela Boulevard. So it'll be from 10 to 12. We'll have 3 or 4 departments from the city will be there. Hopefully the mayor will join us. The chief of police will be there. So please come out, get the information that you need. And those of you who don't get the information from city council, please leave me your email address. I will see that you get the information that goes on in the first district.
Switch it up, Councilman Franklin.
Thank you. Mayor, before we adjourn today, I ask that you close the meeting in honor of Velma Lee Moore, the mother of Congresswoman Maxine Waters. I appreciate that. The service was held, I believe, in St. Louis, and that we were not able to make it, but certainly we send our condolences to the family and obviously to our hardworking person in Congress. I also want to acknowledge the 66th Annual Memorial Day Service Celebration. It was a collaboration between the American Legion, VFW Post 2122, and the special thanks to the Boy Scouts of Inglewood, Troop 636, and another unit of Troop 283 that helped perform in the ceremonies. It was a cohesive effort, and I clearly thank the staff for all their due diligence to make it a rounding success. I also want to thank the 40th Annual South Bay Medal of Valor celebration, where several of our officers, I believe I counted 14, that was recognized, many of them for Medal of Valor, distinction of distinguished service, and a sustained priority where they were willing to render their lives in harm's way for the benefit of others. Outstanding performance of showing the courage and the manhood that goes on, both men and women, of our service. And I really appreciate that quite well. Finally, I want to conclude that I was not able to be here on Monday the 19th when they had a council meeting in May. I was at the RENCON convention, which is the International Shoppers Convention. There are several shopping center owners in the city, particularly in District 4, that have reached out to me and asked for me to assist them on trying to locate tenants to help fill those vacancies. And many of them, they really appreciated the fact that we did a survey of where you as residents would like to shop, in which I shared the survey results with the council members. And I have to tell you, I went through the multiple malls that's there for multiple days that we walked and talked. And with the shopping center owners and myself, of talking to potential tenants. And Mayor, I just want you to know that you're doing an outstanding job, and this council's doing an outstanding job, because I didn't hear about, oh, it's just Inglewood. They said, I've heard about Inglewood, and I expressed interest. I want to talk to you more about coming to the West Coast, and in fact, broadening my chain of stores. I thought also it was great that this operation included operators that provided financing, architect design, leasing, retail stores. They actually had security that would be available on site, and property management. And so I'm looking forward of a number of these tenants that have, looking forward for a number of the retailers that have expressed interest to want to come on board to become family of the city of Inglewood. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I want to start off by thanking you, thanking the community. A year ago, both Councilmember George Dotson and I were elected to serve as your representatives on the city council. And just want to thank you for that opportunity to continue to serve, and looking forward to many more years of service. This morning, I had an opportunity, along with the mayor, assistant city manager, and the city manager, to attend at the police department a badge pinning ceremony, which consists of new officers. We had actually four new officers, and the promotion of a captain, David Salcido, from the lieutenant rank to captain. And we also had new dispatchers and new custody officers. So the police department is hiring more people. We're always concerned with our public safety. It's good to see that the numbers are improving. We continue to hire. So if there's anybody out there that's interested, in a career in law enforcement, please reach out to the police department and fill out your application. Last weekend, I also had the opportunity to attend an event for the Inglewood High School JROTC. It was a fundraiser. Really enjoyed working with these young men and women. The future of our community is in good hands. This past Saturday, I attended the Inglewood Unified School District's walkathon for public education. Really good event, attended by many community members. Just good to see the dynamics of the young and the older crowd out there together walking around the track for the purpose of improving the school's education here in our beautiful city of Inglewood. This, we talked about this Saturday being Relay for Life, and I know the councilman mentioned it, but the following day, so you got Saturday to come out and enjoy Relay all day. The following day in the afternoon, when you're looking for something else to do, I want you to come out to the 39th annual Adobe Centinela Valley Historical Society Barbecue and Car Show. It'll be on Sunday, June the 8th from noon to 4 p.m., 7634 Midfield Avenue in Westchester in L.A. It's the historical site of where Inglewood got its start, and there's going to be tours of the facility. So if you haven't been out there recently, I encourage you to come out. And if you've been out there recently, come on out and support this worthy event to help raise funds for the Centinela Adobe. With that, thank you so much for being out here today, and have a good week.
Councilman Morales?
Thank you. And Councilman Padilla, just to close off on that, there's meals for sale at that Adobe barbecue, right?
Yes, there is.
And he's right, it's actually a great event. Haven't been there in a couple of years. I want to thank him. He keeps bringing it up, and I think it's good because more of the community can get out there and kind of see the birthplace, but also get excited about kind of what we take care of around here. Just want to make a couple of brief comments. Of course, the Relay for Life is this weekend. Most of us will probably be out there at some time of the day or night. But even if you just want to stop in, say hello, it's a great opportunity to meet a lot of the folks from the community, sit there. Most of us will be there all day. We can talk about a lot of things, and it's just, it has grown to become quite a community event. Briefly, also just want to thank the Parks and Rec program who put together the Memorial Day service. It was very well attended. This year, they actually put a tent up. Just wanted to point out that it's a big deal when we can get some of these veterans. We seem to get the same ones over and over, which is a great sign because that means that our service means something to them. And hopefully next year we'll continue to get the new generations out here. So that's it. Other than that, have a nice weekend.
First, I wanted to thank everybody that spoke and gave us your concerns. Mr. Waldner, the issue you talked about lapel cameras or body cameras actually is being researched by the police department. And it's something that if we can afford, and the state of technology is such that they won't always be broken, it's something we're looking at very hard. But I was a little chagrined when you offered the conjecture that the poor young man that lost his life was kicked after he was down. I had never heard that, and so to put that out there is really a disservice to his family and the officer as well, if it's not true. I had never heard that. We have some really good people in the police department. The badge pinning ceremony today, there were new officers. There was a captain who had his badge pinning ceremony. What that means is family members are invited and their bios are read, and a family member pins the badge on. One of the officers graduated cum laude from a local high school, a very sharp young man. We had a captain of police that was just promoted. He had 5 AAs, a bachelor's degree, and an MPA, Master's in Public Administration. I just want to congratulate all those employees. They're proud of what they do, and they do the best they can under very, very difficult circumstances. And once again, for those people that watch our council meetings. I'm glad to see that Mr. Matthews come down from 1 billion down to 200 million. We're making big progress that way. But I want to reiterate again that the obligations of the redevelopment agency are just that, the obligations of the redevelopment agency. And you're absolutely correct that the ROPS have to be approved. And with few exceptions, our ROPS have continuously been approved, meaning the obligations of the agency. So that means the state, which keeps the tax increment, they have to pay that. I feel sorry for the city of Cerritos that they have to pay $177 million to the agency because they engaged in a transaction that the Department of Finance disapproved of. But I want to make that clear to anybody that's watching. The city of Cerritos is not a subdivision of Inglewood, so it's no different than if Bank of America has an obligation. It's really not relevant to the financial condition of the city. I appreciate, Mr. Matthew, that you feel you really have, something to tell us, but I just can't make it any more clear to you. The obligations of the agency are the obligations of the agency, therefore the obligations of the state, because they've abolished redevelopment. And I just have to continually make that clear. It's not that we don't want to hear what you have to say, it's that you've told us this for years, and there just comes a time when it's exhausted. And so, while you're free to come up and as many days that you want to talk about it, that's fine, but we just can't chase our tails about it. I want to congratulate the officers that received awards at the Miller Luncheon this past week. We had about 13 or 14. They were cited for various acts of bravery and superior service. Again, I'm so proud of this police department because they've gone through difficult times. We're finally in a position where we could give them a 1% raise this year in the midst of everything that we're doing. We need to remain competitive salary-wise so that we attract the best and the brightest, because your safety is worth that. And there is no higher priority than public safety. I'm going to close the meeting in the name of Thelma Lee Moore, the mother of Congresswoman Maxine Waters. She passed May 21st at the age of 97 in St. Louis, and our hearts and prayers go out to the Waters family. We're adjourned.